The great hall of the Galactic Council shook with noise. Hundreds of alien leaders from across the galaxy sat in their glowing chairs, voices rising, anger building. The circular chamber flickered with red warning lights. It was rare to call an emergency meeting, but today something serious had happened. Council member Zarnok, a tall creature with silver skin and 3 glowing eyes, stood up. His voice echoed through the chamber. "The humans," he said, "must be stopped." Gasps filled the room. Even the cold-blooded reptilians hissed softly. Everyone turned their attention to the center stage. A giant holographic screen flickered to life, showing dozens of images, humans holding hands with aliens, kissing them, even raising children with them. Some were insectoids, some had tentacles. Some looked like moving plants. "This is madness," shouted Vetra, the leader of the avian skyborns. "They're breeding with anything they find." A small robotic alien named Shiv beeped nervously. Data confirms. 137 new interspecies unions reported in just the last solar month. Cross-genetic fusion successful in 62% of cases. The rest are ... pending. The chamber exploded with noise again. How is this possible? Are the humans using forbidden science? No other species has ever crossbred this widely. Zarnok raised his hand again, and silence slowly returned. "We always thought humans were primitive, but they are spreading fast. Not through war. Not through weapons. But through ... affection." Many council members looked disturbed. A few looked curious. They are ignoring rules, breaking boundaries, creating hybrids. If this continues, Zarnak said darkly, they will change the structure of life itself. One member from the ocean world of Vunari floated forward in his water orb. "What harm have they done, really? Some unions are peaceful. Some children ... are stronger." Zarnok pointed to the screen. A hybrid child was shown lifting a steel pillar with one hand while speaking 6 languages at once. Another image showed a human reptilian child flying without wings. The council gasped. "These are not just unions," Zarnok said. "They are creating something new, something dangerous, something we cannot control." At the back of the hall, a quiet figure listened. He wore a black uniform with a silver emblem, a human ambassador named Cole. No one had noticed him yet. But he noticed everything. The council began shouting again. "We need laws. Ban interspecies mating. Stop the humans." But someone else stood up now. 'Twas Elder Suin, the oldest member of the council. Her body was made of soft light and crystal. She rarely spoke, but when she did, all listened. "Perhaps," she said slowly, "we should not fear what we do not understand." Zarnak frowned. "Do you support this madness, Elder?" "I support learning before judging," she replied calmly. "We have not asked the humans why they do this. We only fear the result." The silence was thick. Every eye turned toward. The human ambassador Cole stepped forward slowly, hands behind his back. He looked calm, polite even, amused. "You called this meeting without me," he said softly, "but I came anyway." Zarnak's eyes narrowed. "Do you deny it, human? Do you deny that your kind is breeding with anything that moves?" Cole smiled faintly. "We don't see species. We see souls." Another wave of gasps echoed across the hall. "You mock this council," Vetra said sharply. "No," Cole replied. "I respect you. But I also respect the choice of every being who finds connection, even in unexpected places." Zarnok slammed the table. "You are turning the galaxy into chaos." "No," Cole said, his voice suddenly sharp. "We are giving it a future." The lights flickered. The temperature in the hall dropped. The weight of the moment pressed on every being. Zarnok turned to the council. "Then let us vote. Shall we begin enforcement? block human breeding rights. With alien species, murmurs spread. Some nodded. Others looked uncertain. A vote had never been called on a matter like this before. Cole stood tall. No matter what you vote, he said, you cannot stop love. And with that, he turned and walked out of the chamber. The council sat in silence. The vote would come, but the change had already begun long after the council meeting ended. Deep beneath the surface of the galactic core, an old alien moved slowly through silent halls. Her name was Archivist Dela, and she was older than most stars. She didn't attend meetings. She didn't speak in votes. But when knowledge was needed, they always came to her. That night, it didn't have to ask. She already knew what the council feared. Dela opened a glowing crystal door, revealing a chamber of forgotten history. Shelves made of light stretched to the ceiling, filled with ancient records, DNA logs, secret files, and forbidden texts. Her 6 hands moved with care, selecting one crystal scroll at a time. Her eyes, once bright, now dimmed by age, narrowed as she scanned the contents. Then she stopped. One name pulsed in red. Project Edenfall. Year 2149 Earth time. Origin human. She tapped the file. A hologram shimmered in the air. An ancient human scientist, long dead, appeared. His voice echoed softly. We believed that love was the final frontier, so we made sure it could cross every border, even species. The screen changed. There were images of early experiments, controlled environments where humans met aliens under observation. Most rejected each other, but a few connected. Not through science, but through emotion. Dela sat back, stunned. Love wasn't an accident, she whispered. It was engineered. Suddenly, the walls around her pulsed blue. A hidden protocol activated. A warning from the past. If humanity's bonding rate exceeds 10% galaxy-wide, terminate contact. Phase 2 begins. Dela's heart stopped. It wasn't just about unions. It was about something deeper, a plan. She hurried to the top of the chamber. Her cloak flapped behind her like wings. She had to warn the council, but they were still arguing. Still blind, she would need someone outside the system. Someone who had nothing to lose. Someone ... Like a human, far above her, on a starship drifting near the moons of Silveron. Ambassador Cole stared out the window. He didn't smile this time. He had just received a message marked urgent from the archives. It was only one line. You were designed to change us, and now you are. He closed his eyes. The past wasn't sleeping anymore. It was waking up, and the galaxy wasn't ready. The twin suns of Veltraxis 9 cast long shadows across the Galactic Council citadel. But inside, in the heart of the chamber, darkness gathered not from light, but from uncertainty. A door at the far end of the hall hissed open. All eyes turned. He didn't walk in with an army. He didn't come surrounded by guards. He came alone. Ambassador Cole, dressed in plain black with a silver Earth emblem on his chest, stepped forward slowly. His boots echoed against the polished floor. Hundreds of alien eyes watched him in silence. He looked human, but somehow that made him the most dangerous being in the room. Zarnak, the silver-skinned council member, clenched his fists. You were not summoned, he said coldly. Cole paused, scanning the room. Then he smiled, not smug, not hostile, calm, like he already knew the ending of a story no one else had read. I didn't need an invitation, he said. You're talking about my people, after all. Counselor Vetra flapped her feathered wings in anger. Your people are infecting the galaxy with uncontrolled reproduction. Cole raised an eyebrow. Is that what you call connection? Zarnak slammed a datapad onto the table. These are facts. Over 700 confirmed unions between humans and alien species, some of them with no shared biology. It defies science. It defies order. Cole walked to the center, stopping beside the glowing council table. "Maybe it doesn't defy science," he said softly. "Maybe it's the future of it." A stunned silence filled the hall. High above, floating behind a one-way crystal wall, Archivist Dela watched. She had sent him the warning, but Cole hadn't. Come to stop the council. He'd come to change it. Zarnak leaned forward, his eyes glowing with anger. "Are you saying humans were meant to do this?" Cole didn't flinch. "I'm saying we don't force it. We don't plan it. But we feel it. That's what scares you, isn't it?" Vetra snapped. "You're diluting thousands of years of pure genetics and giving birth to something stronger." Cole interrupted. "Smarter, kinder, more than either of us alone." Dela's message rang again in his memory. "You were designed to change us." And maybe it was working. One young alien barely old enough to speak stood behind her elder. He tugged her robe. Gently. "Mother, why are they afraid of love?" No one had an answer. Cole looked around the room. "You can pass your votes. You can ban unions. But you can't stop what's already started." Zarnak pointed toward him. "Then what should we do, human?" Cole stepped even closer, his voice low and steady. "Try asking why so many of your own are falling for us. Not because we're strong, not because we're clever, but because we see them." His words hung in the air like a spark before the explosion. Outside, the galaxy turned as usual. But inside that hall, something shifted, an idea, a possibility, not war, not conquest. Humanity's real weapon was something else entirely, and Cole had just used it. On the distant moon of Tellarusix, beneath silver skies and glowing ice trees, a cry echoed through the medical dome. It wasn't fully human, and it wasn't fully alien, but it was alive, the nurses one human. One reptilian stood frozen as the hybrid infant opened its eyes for the first time. They were violet, glowing softly, unlike anything either species had ever seen. The child blinked once, and the room's machines began to flicker. Her heart rate was steady. Her temperature was perfect. Too perfect, Dr. Alea, a human xenobiologist, stared in silence. The baby had been born from a union no one believed was possible, a human female and a male from the Krexthar, a species made of living crystal and plasma. Science had said it couldn't happen, but now the child was here. She was breathing. She was learning too fast. She already recognizes faces, whispered the Krexthar nurse. And ... she just mimicked my speech pattern. That's impossible, Alia replied, but even as he said it, the baby stared at him and spoke a single word. Father. Back in the Galactic Council hall, Zarnak was reviewing security footage. When a special alert arrived, unregistered hybrid detected genetic index unmatched emergency flag raised. He opened the file. His 3 glowing eyes widened. This child, he muttered, is not a mistake. She's a message. Elsewhere, deep in the council archives, Dela traced data from other hidden births across the galaxy. Silent births, secret unions. Human. Hybrids were appearing on desert worlds, ocean cities, space stations, even inside royal alien families. Some had strength, others could heal. One could phase through walls, and none of them feared their difference, because to them, difference was normal. These aren't mistakes, Dela whispered. These are the next step. The council didn't want to hear it. Zarnak ordered the infant from Tellaro 6 to be taken into custody. For research, he claimed. For protection, he added. But when the retrieval ship arrived at the moon, the dome was empty, the child was gone, vanished, no traces, no bodies, no data trail, just a small message carved into the wall of the lab. You cannot contain what you do not understand. Ambassador Cole read the message later on his secure tablet. He exhaled slowly, then looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the forbidden offspring were growing. Not human, not alien, but something new. And they were watching, waiting for what? For the moment they would no longer be forbidden. For the moment, the galaxy would finally call them what they truly were, ... children of the future. The council chamber was empty. Not silent, just empty. The vote would not take place in the public forum. Not this time. Not with the galaxy watching. Not with whispers of hybrid children spreading faster than light. It would happen beneath the chamber in the old vault. A place only high-ranking members knew existed. A place built for decisions too dangerous to be made in daylight. 12 members sat around a circular stone table. No names, no species flags. Only shadows and blinking. Lights from the voting crystals embedded before them. Zarnak stood first. "Our laws are clear," he began. "Species must remain genetically pure to preserve balance. The humans are violating that law repeatedly. These hybrids are growing, smarter, stronger." He looked at the others. "We must stop them before they outnumber us." Some nodded slowly, others hesitated. Counselor Thalrin, an amphibious thinker from the marsh worlds, rubbed his gills and spoke. "But what if we're not seeing an invasion? What if we're witnessing evolution?" Gasps echoed, even in that quiet room. Zarnak slammed his palm down. "This is not evolution. This is infection." Archivist Dela was watching from a hidden monitor far away. Her crystal fingers trembled. She had traced 37 hidden births, all hybrids, all healthy, all showing rapid development. She didn't know if that was beautiful or terrifying. Maybe both. Back in the vault, Counselor Nevis, one of the youngest members, barely a century old, stood up. "I met a hybrid child," he confessed. Zarnak turned. "What?" Nevis nodded. She was half human, half sand crawler. Her mind, it touched mine. Not with words, not with language. With feeling. She showed me fear, sadness, joy, all in 1 second. I didn't feel attacked. I felt seen. Silence. One by one, counselors looked down at the crystals before them. The vote was ready. Red for restriction, blue for observation, green for silent. Approval. Each crystal glowed in turn as decisions were made in secret. When the last light faded, the system processed the result. A calm voice spoke. 6 red, 4 blue, 2 green. Motion, blockade, and monitor. Zarnak let out a breath of dark satisfaction. "They'll call it protection," Nevis muttered. "But it's fear, and fear always comes before a mistake." Elsewhere, hidden behind encrypted walls, Ambassador Cole watched the results come in. He wasn't surprised. He was preparing for it. His fingers tapped the table. Then he activated a private line. A soft female voice answered. "Is it time?" she asked. Cole nodded. "They voted to contain us, and the children. They won't be caged." He closed the file and turned toward the window. Outside, in hundreds of systems, silent messages were being sent. Not just to humans, but to aliens too. Those who had loved. Those who had hidden. Those who had chosen connection over fear. The vote was final, but the resistance had just begun. She stood alone in the soft red glow of her ship's meditation chamber. Queen Aitsari of the insectoid Chevry, once feared across 3 sectors, now felt something strange in her chest, something no warrior of her race had ever admitted out loud. She missed him. A human, a scientist named Dr. Aaron Vale. He wasn't strong. He wasn't fast. But he saw her not as an experiment, not as a monster, but as a person. And for one stolen year before the council found out, they were something more than just allies. Now, as the blockade orders spread across the stars, she knew what would happen next. They would come for people like her, so she activated her old comlink, one only he had the other end of. "I know you're watching, Aaron," she whispered. "They're afraid, but I'm not. I would choose you again." On a desert planet where sandstorms howled endlessly, a rocky alien named Jarn dropped his mining tool and looked toward the stars. He still wore the necklace his human partner gave him, a simple ring tied with blue string. He never understood why it mattered until she died in his arms during a border raid. He still hadn't removed it. "They think we don't feel." Jarn grunted. "They're wrong." And far out in the ice fields of HFY, two young lovers, one human, one amphibian, held hands inside a frozen cave, hiding from patrols. "They won't let us stay together," the girl said. "We don't need permission," the amphibian replied. "We need courage." Back at the Galactic Council Citadel, the data streams were overwhelmed. Unregistered stories of interspecies love were pouring in, thousands, from warriors, from royals, from orphans, from diplomats, even from council members. Themselves, Counselor Nevis sat in silence in his private chambers, reading a message that simply said, "I never stopped loving you." He buried his face in his hands. The truth was leaking out. Humans hadn't seduced the galaxy. The galaxy had fallen in love with them willingly. And now, those buried emotions hidden for years, even centuries, were rising. Ambassador Cole stood at the Earth Embassy's balcony, watching his own people move through the crowds. Some smiled. Some held hands with aliens. Some carried children with glowing skin and strange eyes. He spoke softly into his communicator. "It's not just about genetics anymore. It's about choice." The voice on the other side replied, "And what happens when the council learns how many of their own are choosing humans too?" Cole closed his eyes. They won't be able to stop it, because love has already crossed the line. The Galactic Council chamber was quiet, too quiet. No alarms. No shouts. Only silence. Because the truth had finally arrived, not through warships or threats, but through whispers. Whispers of hybrid children with glowing eyes. Of love letters, written across light years, of council members with human lovers buried in the past. Of queens and miners. Scientists and soldiers falling for the one species they were told to fear. Humans, and now. They had to decide, not in secret, this time. This vote would be public, all systems would watch. The chamber filled with beings of every kind. Some had scaled skin, others moved on clouds of gas. Some had no faces at all. But they were here for the vote that would decide the future. Zarnok stood again, worn and angry. "If we let this continue," he said, voice cracking, "our bloodlines will disappear. Our worlds will change forever." Counselor Nevis stood too, but his face was calm. "They already have," he said. The screen behind them flickered to life. Dozens of video feeds began to play. Human girl, singing to her alien father. A child with wings and fur, solving puzzles beyond council comprehension. Crystal being, holding hands with a freckled boy. Ambassador Cole didn't speak. He didn't need to. The galaxy was speaking for him now. Elder Suin, Kata, light and wisdom, slowly rose from her seat. "We have feared what makes us feel," she said softly. "But I have seen the truth. The humans are not here to destroy us. They are here to connect us." She lifted her hand. "I vote no law, no ban. Let love decide." One by one, the lights began to change. Green dot, green dot, green dot across the chamber. The decision was made. The motion to ban human-alien unions failed. Zarnok sat down slowly. He had lost. But deep down, maybe he had known this day would come. Outside the council building, crowds began to cheer. Some cried, some kissed. Some simply looked to the stars with hope. And somewhere on a jungle moon, two hybrid children chased each other through tall, glowing grass, laughing under twin suns. They didn't care about laws. They only cared that they were alive. And the universe was finally ready for them. Ambassador Cole watched from a quiet room, sipping tea. A young alien girl with human freckles slept nearby, curled on a couch. Safe and dreaming, he smiled. Not every war ends with fire. Some end with understanding, and sometimes the most dangerous force in the galaxy isn't a weapon, it's love.